Very sporty, full of technology, takes risks in design. Is this the new luxury SUV from a German brand? No, it's not. It's Swedish. This is the new Polestar 3, and we're going to walk you through it today. Buy or sell your car now with Car Buyer Singapore. And remember to check out the latest automotive content with us. So what is the Polestar 3? On paper, it's a large electric SUV around the same size as the Porsche Cayenne, and it's going to be a competitor to that car when it goes electric too. But in reality, it's actually very, very different given Polestar's totally new approach to car making. We expect this car to be in Singapore in late 2023 and to cost around $450,000 with a COE. Now let's focus on design. Now Polestar likes to do things its way, and we're still kind of finding out what that way is. The Polestar 3 is actually what the CEO Thomas Ingenlath says is the new center of the car, and the center is all seen here on the front. Now, while the Polestar 3 is a big SUV, in the flesh, it actually looks quite different. I will show you the back later, but it looks almost like a high-riding wagon almost, very low to the ground. So a lot lower than cars like the Audi Q8 or even the BMW X6, which are both coupe SUVs. In fact, to me, this is the coupeiest of the coupe SUVs so far. And on the front end is a really, really interesting design feature that Polestar has done. This section here is actually an aerodynamic wing. You can see it, I stick my hand through here. So Polestar obviously did that and chose the form factor for better aerodynamics. But another cool feature is down here, what Polestar calls the Smart Sensor Bay. So behind this is a LiDAR sensor that is linked to the rest of the car's safety system, which is processed by a really fast NVIDIA processor. So what this does, and Polestar has really drawn attention to the front end where you put a big sensor there. Other car makers tried to hide it, but this is actually a very Polestar thing. Here's our technology, it's right in your face. What it means for you is that in the future, this car will be able to do advanced driver assist systems and safety systems, as well as autonomous drive, thanks to this new technology. Now we're here at the back end of the Polestar 3, and like I said, it looks very un-SUV-like. The drama continues with the wide crooked light bar here and a lot of lovely design details to take in. But one of the things about this car is that it has almost 500 horsepower, or rather more than 500 horsepower in performance pack trim, and that is some serious performance that Polestar is talking about. Also, why am I here at the rear end? It's because there's also a new torque vectoring system that shoves torque to the left or right depending on the circumstances. So Polestar is really talking up its performance, and we won't know until we try the car, but it's worth taking note of at this state that Polestar really goes, you know, this is really sporty, really dynamic, we're going to be taken seriously. Now, big SUV, a lot more spacious than the Polestar 2, which is a small executive sedan. But we see here immediately that it's quite different as well. We've got a lovely executed driver's display right there. It's quite small, I don't know what the measurement is, but it is very sharp, very clear. The centerpiece is the 14.5-inch infotainment system powered by Google and Snapdragon processing. So very fast and very clear. So we see how this kind of floats out on top of the very pared back Scandinavian minimalist design right there. There's also a wireless smartphone charger here. Nice place to put your stuff. And what I'm seeing here is the things that Polestar really push forward: luxury. They're trying to say that, yes, we are going to compete with the Germans. So here are some very well executed details. We've got the light stretching all the way here. And this is a level of quality and luxe feeling that I have not seen in the Polestar 2. We didn't see the Polestar 1 because it wasn't in Singapore, but there are a lot of lovely details, lovely cabin ambience to take in. So another thing to take in is the fact that Polestar makes a really big deal out of the fact that it's sustainable and responsible. You can see that right here in the seat. Now, the car comes optional with Microtech pleather that's derived from pine oil, so not derived from petroleum sources. But this particular car has the optional Napa leather interior, and if you can see here, it says Animal Welfare Napa Leather. So the cows are really taken care of, and it says how many kilos of CO2 were used to make this leather as well. It was all responsibly traced all throughout the supply chain. So that's one of the topics that really come to the fore in our era of sustainable, ethical motoring. So just like the approach we saw with the Smart Sensor, Polestar is really highlighting what it's doing here with technology, with sustainability, with ethically sourced products. And I think that's a really cool touch. that maybe other car makers can learn from. And if you're very concerned about these things, it's right here for you to talk about. Okay, so I'm going to test out the rear legroom of this car. And as I said, this is a car that's a similar size to the Cayenne and X5, but because it's an EV and has nearly a 3-meter wheelbase, there is a lot of legroom, as you can see here. So like, wow, that is a lot of legroom, and it's really quite wide as well. So let me sit here. Despite the fact that there's a panoramic glass sunroof stretching almost the entire length of the roof, I still have a hell of a lot of headspace, so that's really good. But I do notice a little bit the whole EV knees thing, like I keep telling you guys. The batteries are in the floor of the car, and my knees are a bit elevated as well. But to talk about the batteries, this car has a really big one, 111 kilowatt hours, which will give you a WLTP range of about 600 kilometers. Of course, we'll test that out when the car comes to Singapore next year, but those are just the provisional figures. AC charging at 11 kilowatts will take you about 10 hours, given a 111 kilowatt hour battery pack. 250 kilowatt DC fast charging is the maximum fast charge rate, the typical half hour, then from 10 to 80%. So what you notice is that there is no seats behind me. There are no seats behind me. This is a dedicated 5-seater, and that's on purpose because Polestar is not just an electric car brand, it's also a performance brand. And they told us that they were really focusing on making a car for 5 people, sporty, dynamic, and efficient as well. So they didn't want to compromise by chucking in another bunch of seats at the back and, you know, making seats that only dwarfs could sit in. But as you can see, even though there was a plunging roofline as I showed you outside, the headroom's still very good. The only compromise I can see right now here is the boot space, and that's only about 484 liters, which is significantly less than a coupe SUV of the size of the X6. That one has about 600 liters. So from what you've seen of the Polestar 3, on paper it should be very dynamic, very sporty, a fully electric car with ethics and zero emissions at the forefront. Also very clever technology in your face. If you like that sort of thing, please let us know what you think of the Polestar 3. Do you think it can compare to the German competition? Let us know in the comments, and meanwhile, please like this video if you liked it. Please check out more car news, reviews and stuff on Car Buyer Singapore. Thanks for watching.